KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Millions of families lost access to SNAP over the weekend. What some officials are saying this morning about its possible return.
Plus, New Braunfels ISD reviewing hundreds of books this morning, why some authors want students to have access to their stories.
All right, good morning to everyone out there. It is 9 o'clock on this Monday, November 3rd. Hopefully you guys had a great Halloween. How was your weekend, Steph?
Yes, it was a good weekend. Wow, Halloween just went by fast. And then, we're into November and, had a, full weekend of activities. But yeah, it went well, did the trick-or-treating thing. And,
nice.
Received a lot of generous candy. So thank you, everybody out there. Yeah,
there's a lot of candy floating around our newsroom right now. I think a lot of folks are going to be bringing them in, just trying to get rid of them at home.
For now, but like in a month, we'll probably be like, oh, does anyone have snack around here?
Looking for it.
Yeah, so maybe we should just store it and let it last throughout the month of November. But yeah, a nice cold morning, and then the weather was pretty nice over the weekend as well.
Yeah, definitely good weather over the weekend, Justin.
Yeah, it really was, and the dad candy tax was in full effect. So I got my cut, and it was good. It's good. It was so beautiful. Halloween was about as good as it gets. Honestly, it was so nice. And with it being on a Friday night, it was great. Now, we did get some rain on Saturday, even a little bit of hail in some spots, but that was kind of the one day where we had a little bit of weather to talk about. Otherwise, it has been really, really quiet. And today is basically the same thing. We're seeing clear skies and comfortable temperatures this morning. We're starting to see those numbers climb. So we started off at about 48. We're now up to 61. And 60 in New Braunfels, 61 Converse, 59 Bernie, 61 at Stinson. So we're seeing these temperatures climb at a pretty quick rate. 73 noontime, 78 will be our high temperature today, and sunny skies all day long. And we'll get into another cool morning tomorrow. Not as cold, though. And that brings us to Election Day, of course, tomorrow. Polls open from 7 to 7, 70 degrees at 11 o'clock, 80 tomorrow. So it'll be a little bit warmer, and it gets even warmer beyond that, to some numbers that may be a little uncomfortable before another front comes through. We'll talk about when that front arrives coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Justin. Taking a quick check of the traffic right now and taking a look on the roads. That's traffic not looking too bad over there. Fair Avenue on the southeast side, north side of town, 281 Summit Church. No major issues right now with the exception of the downtown area where we are still dealing with a lot of ongoing construction. It's another week of ongoing construction over there, I-35 northbound from Martin to McCullough. Keep that in mind if you're headed out to the downtown area.
Well, SNAP food benefits could start again as early as Wednesday, according to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. 2 federal judges ordered the Trump administration to use emergency funds to pay the benefits during the shutdown. Now, the administration will not appeal, but they are still figuring out how to process this and make it happen. President Donald Trump said he does not want Americans to go hungry and is pushing to get the funds released ASAP.
All right, our other big story this half hour. It's a big week for the trial of 3 former San Antonio police officers accused in the killing of Melissa Perez.
So in about 3 hours now, the defense will resume presenting their case to the jury. They already started on Friday calling retired SAPD Detective Mark Duke to take the stand. He testified that Eleazar Alejandro, Alfred Flores, and Nathaniel Villalobos used their best judgment that night, given the circumstances. He also said the San Antonio Police Department did not do a thorough investigation before filing the arrest warrant. Now found guilty, all 3 former officers face up to life in prison. We are live streaming this trial, and proceedings are expected to continue at noon. You can watch it on all of our streaming platforms and, of course, on our website, KSAT.com.
Wow, take a look at that. This morning, the intersection in Schertz is open once again after an 18-wheeler, you just saw that or maybe heard it as well, was struck by a train over the weekend. This all happened Sunday at Schertz Parkway. Look at that video again at FM 78. Now, police say the truck was crossing the tracks when it got stuck on the tracks. Now, no one was hurt, thankfully, and the train did not derail. Officers hope that this serves as a reminder to pay attention to crossing signals.
And this morning, no arrests have been made after a man died over the weekend. So San Antonio police officers tell us that they found him with head injuries on the side of the road on Saturday. This happened at Arthur and St. James Street, and police say it is not clear what led up to this assault. Well, New Braunfels ISD has added 362 new titles to their under review list.
And this brings the number of books across the district that need to be reviewed for Senate Bill 13 compliance to 443 books. So that Senate Bill, SB 13, bans books from public schools that have any content that is obscene, indecent, vulgar, or sexually explicit. The school has labeled 11 of the titles non-compliant, and no other books have finished that review process based on the district's website. The authors of 2 of the books that are on the non-compliant list said that they are not shocked by the decision, but wish that the district would have allowed for those books for students with troubled backgrounds to connect to.
But in the years since it's been out, I mean, the readers that I've heard from thanking me for turning them away from that path or giving them some kind of understanding of a loved one's addiction.
The idea of the book was to explore the challenges and tensions of 1930s Texas with a more complexity and attention to what was happening for Mexican American communities.
Well, KSAT has reached out to the district to ask the details about the review process, and the only information that the district has provided on their website is that a district review team carefully examines each title. As we learn more, we will bring you the very latest on air and online. All right, here's today's 9 at 9. The government shutdown entering its second month, and President Donald Trump wants to change Senate rules to reopen the government with just a simple majority vote. Meanwhile, air traffic controllers and TSA workers are still working without pay, causing delays and cancellations across the country. Millions face losing food assistance, and the stalemate on Capitol Hill continues with no end in sight. The frustration is growing everywhere.
In just a few days, the Supreme Court will decide if President Donald Trump had the legal right to impose those big tariffs using a law for national emergencies. So those tariffs were imposed on countries like China, India, and Brazil with taxes up to 145%. American businesses have already paid nearly $90 billion, and if the court says no, the government might have to pay all of those businesses back.
A strong earthquake shook northern Afghanistan early Monday, killing at least 12 people and damaging the Blue Mosque. Now, families were jolted awake by the 6.3 magnitude quake, and rescue teams are still searching for survivors there. With hundreds injured and aftershocks continuing, the country faces another tough challenge, especially with limited aid available.
Mourners in Michoacan, Mexico are demanding justice after the tragic death of the mayor there, Carlos Manso. He was shot and killed Saturday night in the city of Uruapan while attending a candle festival for Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. He was broadcasting live on social media just minutes before that attack. Authorities responded quickly, killing the alleged attacker and arresting 2 others connected to this incident.
Well, a loud explosion shook Harvard Medical School's Goldenson building on Saturday morning. A second blast following 10 minutes later. Police spotted 2 suspects leaving that scene, and they are now investigating. So no one was hurt, and officers found no additional devices.
Snoring might be more than just an annoying thing that people do when they sleep. A new study linking sleep apnea to tiny brain bleeds that could raise your risk for dementia. The worse the apnea, the higher that risk. Doctors say if you wake up tired or your partner hears you gasping, it's time to definitely get checked out. Scientists are now looking into whether treating apnea early can help protect your brain later on.
And this morning, McDonald's is dealing with a penny shortage, so some locations are now rounding cash purchases to the nearest 5 cents when you don't have exact change. This only affects cash payments since most people use cards or mobile payments. The U.S. Mint stopped making pennies 2 months ago, and businesses are adjusting to that change. From
pennies to millions of dollars, the Mega Millions jackpot closing in on $1 billion. No one hit all 6 numbers on Friday night, so the jackpot for Tuesday is now a massive $800 million. And if you take the cash option, that's about $371 million. This jackpot has been growing since a Virginia winner scored $348 million back in June.
Well, Dodgers fans took over Los Angeles on Saturday night after their team won the World Series again. It was a thriller, an 11-inning 5-4 win over the Blue Jays, with Will Smith hitting the winning home run. Celebrations got loud, and police actually had to use tear gas to break up some of the crowds, arresting 7 people. Today, the city is getting ready for a big victory parade. And what a game. I actually kind of felt sorry for both teams. It just seemed like they kept going on and on and on. I was about to say the same thing.
Yes. I know we have a lot of Dodgers fans in the city of San Antonio because they used to be the Major League affiliate for the San Antonio Missions, like back in the day, and a couple of fans here. But I felt so bad for those Blue Jay fans.
I kind of did too, because they lost at, they lost at home.
Yeah.
But
there's some teary eyes.
I know, but I was like kind of happy the Dodgers won.
Congrats
too.
to the Dodgers.
Yeah, it was a hard day for everybody. Yeah. I don't know. Congratulations. So time now is 9:08 and 61 degrees, still ahead on GMSA at 9.
4 months after the Hill Country floods, Texas Parks and Wildlife is checking on the fish health in local rivers in the Hill Country. We're going to tell you what this all means for wildlife and local communities.
Plus, members of the community are stepping up to help those affected by SNAP cuts. Coming up, we're going to tell you just how much was raised and donated over the weekend.
9:12 on your Monday morning. With the government shutdown continuing this week, San Antonio's Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones says that local businesses have raised more than $1.6 million to provide food for San Antonio families while SNAP benefits are currently paused. Eligible households will receive a $150 HEB gift card via the San Antonio Area Foundation, distributed by Metro Health and the City Human Services. This Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones, says the details on the distribution of those funds and eligibility will be announced later on in the week.
And the help does not stop there. If you or someone you know has been impacted, you can scan that QR code on your screen right now. So there are a lot of companies, a lot of workplaces and school districts that are stepping up to help cover the financial gap during the federal shutdown. We have a list of those resources available on our website, KSAT.com.
And this morning, this is the third day for people going without SNAP benefits as we start the month of November. And more than 16,000 cans of food were collected for the San Antonio Food Bank over the weekend.
So this was during comedian Gabriel "Fluffy" Iglesias' can drive. And as Devin Karp shows us, a line of hundreds of people long showed up to donate.
Caleb, when did you get here this morning?
Actually, I got here last night at 9:45.
Got here at 4:30 this morning.
4:30. Have you ever seen Fluffy before?
Not in person, but watching him since I was a kid, and so happy to see him for our anniversary, actually.
Have you ever camped out for anything like this before?
Never, but Fluffy, it's gonna happen.
It's worth it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Whether they're a first-time watcher.
I've seen all his shows, like his specials on Netflix and everything, but that's about it.
Hey, it's a good first time to see him. Or hardcore Fluffy fans.
He did real good shows up there. Over the years, I've seen him in D.C., El Paso, and other places.
San Antonio shows up for Gabriel Iglesias. It's about 8:42 in the morning here. We've still got hours before the show even starts. This is not even the front of the line. Check out how far it goes all the way around.
I mean, he's not asking for money. He's not asking for anything. He's trying to give back to the community, give back to the people that matter, the people that are especially in the hard times right now, especially with everything going on.
All you needed to get into the show was 5 cans of food for every person you want to bring.
We got some soup, refried beans.
Nice. Beans and chicken.
Can't go wrong with
Soup,
refried beans.
SpaghettiOs.
All taken to the San Antonio Food Bank, helping people who can't receive SNAP benefits right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're one of the families affected by it, and this is something great. I wish a lot of other celebrities would support the local community like this.
And while hundreds of people can't all fit in one comedy club, some donated what they had and stayed behind anyways.
By the time I got here, it was way overpacked, and then the food bank only had like one or two people. So I was like, you know what? I'll donate my cans and help out. Okay.
Oh, it feels great to see Fluffy again.
You excited?
Yes, very excited. More excited that I didn't have to pay.
Thank you for everything you do for the city. Fluffy, 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 Fluffy.
Heard it here first.
God bless you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
This is Parks and Wildlife taking a closer look at the health of the fish and the aquatic life along the flood area. So last month, they started a fish recovery program and a habitat survey over the Guadalupe, Lana, Nueces, Pedernales, and San Saba rivers. And the teams will be collecting samples of fish over the next year. So far, biologist Mitch Nisbet says the fish population in these smaller streams and rivers are relatively intact. They've seen less than a 30% decline, and that is great news. Not only is a healthy river good for wildlife, but it's also good for the local economies. A lot of people travel to San some of these areas to fish. They camp and spend time in these communities, and you're looking at a nice catch of Guadalupe bass there in the video, the official state fish of Texas. Nisbet says other fish species like blue grill, gizzard shad, and smaller largemouth bass are also looking healthy.
We had some surplus channel catfish that we stocked in Ingram Lake last week, and then we'll be stocking Flat Rock as well as Nimitz Lake in Kerrville. And we've got a Guadalupe bass spawning program that works out of the Heart of the Hills Fisheries Science Center outside Kerrville, and we'll be stocking up and down the Guadalupe River if necessary.
We heard it there. As they study the health of these rivers, they are ready to restock if they need to.
Well, for many students here in San Antonio, it's never too early to start thinking about their future careers, and that's the goal of the UP partnership, to make sure that 70% of Bexar County high school grads pursue some form of education after high school by the year 2030. They're doing this with the first ever Future Ready Week, offering everything from trade school visits to help with FAFSA and scholarships. With events every day, they want students to know all about the support that they have available, and so far, progress is moving in the right direction.
I want him to make sure that he makes the right decision. That way he starts when he's young, and then that way when he gets to the point of where he gets to mid-20s, late 20s, he already has an establishment and, of what he wants to do, so he can start early and build that foundation.
Well, right now, the UP partnership says that their progress has been moving steadily and positively towards that 70% goal, and that they have a wide variety of options in town, and that is a big help. You can head over to KSAT.com to see the schedule right now and figure out what is right for you.
Another jacket morning, but I did, tell my daughter, I was like, okay, you'll need it now, but not probably not later.
You're exactly right. Yeah, in fact, we're probably getting to that point now where you can lose the jacket. And the weather has been so great, but Saturday was an interesting day because the clouds rolled in, and then there were a lot of people that got caught off guard by some thunder. We thought that we would see some rain showers, and we saw actually some thunderstorms with some hail. I want to show you a picture here. This is likely, it doesn't say exactly where. It says northeast side. So this was on the northeast side, and it said they were eating dinner out on their deck. Next thing you know, there's some thunder and lightning, and then they got this pretty hefty hailstorm here. Now, these hail pellets were very, very small, so they weren't doing damage, but it's just loud, and one of those things where we've had sunny skies, and Saturday was very different in that regard. But we appreciate all the pictures and videos that you sent in. And we're back to clear skies now, and rain stays out of the forecast. Sunrise this morning was at 6:49. I do want to remind everyone that today's sunset is at 5:46. This presents a couple of problems. Not that it's a bad thing, but obviously the sun going down earlier, it creates traffic issues. It always does every year because this is right around the evening commute. And when it gets dark, people go slower, and it just seems to be more congested. So just know that. One of the things that we see when the time changes. Temperatures, 61 right now in Bernie, 59 Helota, 61 at the airport, 61 Converse, 59 Seguin, 60 right now in Nixon. A very, very comfortable morning out there. And we'll see temperatures make their way into the upper 70s by this afternoon. Close to 80 in some spots, probably just shy of that mark. And as we look at the big picture here, it is remarkably quiet across the country. Rarely this time of year do you see it this quiet, but here we are. A couple showers up across parts of Canada, a few showers on the East Coast, but most of the country, I'd say 95% of the country is dealing with beautiful weather at this point. The jet stream is still pretty far up to the north. It stays there through much of the week. So that means our weather will be very quiet, other than we'll maybe get some morning fog and morning clouds, a couple mornings. It's not until the weekend that the jet stream finally starts to dip south a little bit, and then we do get a front through. It looks like Sunday morning. In the meantime, though, it's going to be warm. The average high is 76. We start to see these high temperatures in the afternoon climb into the mid 80s and even upper 80s by Friday. So it's going to be pretty warm by the week's end. And don't forget, we have 24 days until Thanksgiving, 25 days until the big game. That's my big game, A&M versus Texas. The Ford Holiday River Parade, also 25 days away, all on that Friday after Thanksgiving. Winter begins in 48 days. Christmas is 52 days away. And New Year's Eve is 58 days away. So there's your little countdown. This is the time of year where everything starts getting busy. Your calendars get filled up. So at least we can give you some good weather to go run all your errands and early Christmas shopping, right? We're doing that? No. Okay. Morning fog, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Front on Sunday with gusty winds and cooler weather. That's what Amazon is for.
I hope so. I hope they deliver fast enough. I'm pretty last minute, so we'll see.
Same here. Talk to me on December 22nd when I'm scrambling to get everyone.
Exactly. You're at the store.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, we'll work it out.
Yeah. All right, GMSA at 9 o'clock. We'll be back after this break. 9:25 on your Monday morning. An important programming note to pass along. The TV provider YouTube TV and our affiliate network ABC are still in the middle of a contract dispute. That's why ABC programming is off of YouTube TV currently. It'll be that way until a deal is reached, which includes all ABC programming.
That's right. So KSAT 12 is an affiliate of ABC and does not have any say in this matter. And all our newscasts will be continued to be streamed on the KSAT Plus app on your smart TV or mobile device. So if you watch KSAT 12 on something other than your YouTube TV, you will not be affected. This also does not affect any clips or shows from KSAT 12 that you watch on YouTube. So as negotiations continue, we will continue to keep you informed.
All right, 9:25 right now and 61 degrees outside. There's a lot more ahead on GMSA at 9 o'clock.
So Election Day, a reminder, is tomorrow, and you can score a free ride to the polls. Still ahead, how to schedule bus service starting tomorrow.
Plus, a violent weekend up the road in San Marcos. Multiple shootings there had authorities investigating over the past couple of days. What the police there are saying that they've recovered this morning.
Welcome back. It is about 9:30 now. Let's look out there with a live cam and 61 degrees. It was a little colder earlier. It felt like winter, but we know things are going to change throughout the afternoon, Justin.
Yeah, it's that time of year where we get these, really cool, nice mornings, and then it turns into some pretty warm afternoons. That'll be the case all week long. Pollen count came in just about an hour ago, and we got the updated numbers for you. Molds actually came down. They were very high yesterday. They were at 8,500 roughly, which put them in the high category, but now they're low. So that's an improvement. We did have the rain on Saturday, which probably kicked them up some, but it's looking much better today. Fall Elm is low at 60. And as we look at numbers across the state, it's a pretty comfortable day no matter where you go. Really not only in the state of Texas, but across the country. It's just sort of a quiet weather pattern for the moment. 61 in Dallas, 63 Abilene, 61 right now in San Antonio, and those numbers are climbing. We'll be up around 73 by noontime, 77 at 2 o'clock, and a high temperature of 78 degrees. Today you will not find a cloud in the sky, so sunny, and most of the week will be that way, although we may deal with some fog and some morning clouds upcoming. We'll talk about when that will be here in just a couple minutes, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Justin. Quick check of your traffic authority right now, and you see the sun shining through many parts of the city of San Antonio, including the north side right there, Stone Oak Parkway. No major issues for our folks there. Another shot of the north side, Bulverde Road. We do have one incident being reported, 410 at Somerset Road on the southwest side of town. That's going to be the eastbound lanes of 410. But other than that, everything is looking pretty good if you're about to step outside at 9:31 on this Monday morning. Well, it's just been over a year since defendant Antoine Fisher jumped out of his wheelchair and ran from the Bexar County Courthouse.
So the escape led to a manhunt downtown and Foster's eventual recapture.
But new records uncovered by KSAT Investigates show the head of the county jail knew for more than a year that Foster had the use of his legs.
If they say they need a wheelchair to move around, that still doesn't absolve us of the necessity to handcuff somebody, shackle them, and use all appropriate precautions on them.
Well, now some BCSO employees have questioned why jail administration was able to avoid being disciplined for the security lapse. And this is where we bring in our Dylan Collier right now, who's been digging into that escape for KSAT 12. I remember this case very well. You join us right now. What have you learned about Foster's run to freedom there?
Well, RJ and Stephanie, this was a defendant who was shot multiple times by San Antonio police after he fired more than 20 shots at officers during a domestic violence call in 2020. Foster was critically injured in that incident, but survived and was eventually moved from the hospital to the jail.
So was the jail staff led to believe that Foster could not walk, let alone run away?
Yeah, but based on records that we viewed, Foster was kept in a medical unit at the jail and taken to court appearances in a wheelchair without his legs being shackled. But as far back as September 2023, that's more than 13 months before his escape, a classification supervisor alerted jail administrators that Foster had been seen moving around and was likely manipulating the system.
All right, Dylan, so anything else that you've been able to learn that we could talk about as we get set for your story later on tonight?
I think the big takeaway on this is, where does the discipline stop? You have deputies who took him to and from jail. They were led to believe that he was paralyzed from the waist down, needed the use of a wheelchair. They became lax in terms of not shackling his legs. But does it go higher than that? Should the people who were more aware of what his medical condition was and what the records were showing, what classification supervisors were seeing, should they be disciplined as well? And that's something we'll look into tonight.
All right, well, we look forward to the report, and thanks for joining us here this morning. Again, tonight, the full investigation on the security blunder, and it runs tonight on the Night Beat.
Well, let's take a look at some of your morning headlines, and we start with a disturbing incident on I-10 in the eastbound lanes right there last night. A 23-year-old man jumped out of a moving car after an argument with his girlfriend who was driving. As he tried to get up on the road, he was hit by another vehicle that did not stop. Now, he was taken to the hospital in critical condition, but is now expected to be okay as of last check. Police are still investigating and looking for the driver that committed that hit and run.
So this is a parent's Halloween horror story, finding a razor blade in your child's trick-or-treat candy.
Yeah, scary stuff here, but this was the reality for at least one family up the road in Kyle, Texas this past weekend. Now police are asking parents to double check their children's Halloween baskets.
So the Kyle Police Department posted this picture to social media saying that they received a report of a razor blade inside a child's Halloween candy on Friday night. So this is an image of a Reese's Take 5 peanut butter cup, which had been removed from the packaging. Now the piece of candy appears to have been split in half with a razor covered in peanut butter off to the side. The person who reported the tainted candy told police that the wrapper had appeared to be sealed and unopened. Parents are encouraged to report any suspicious findings to their local police department.
Okay, also staying up I-35 right now in San Marcos, at least one person is dead and 3 others in the hospital after multiple shootings over the weekend. Let's kind of break all this down this morning. San Marcos police are still searching for 2 of those suspects. This happened around 10 p.m. on Kissing Alley. 1 person was killed and 2 others hurt. Investigators say that the suspects were last seen in a silver or gray Audi like the one that you see on your screen. Police have since recovered the vehicle and are working to identify those individuals involved. As a precaution, police asked bars in the area to close early, and anyone with information is asked to call the police in San Marcos. Staying up there, up the road on I-35, police are investigating 2 more shootings that happened around the time change that we saw over the weekend. Just after bars closed early, officers responded to a fight that turned into a shooting at an off-campus apartment on Post Road. 1 person was hurt. A 3rd shooting happened around 1:50 a.m. And this was also over the weekend on North LBJ Drive. A 20-year-old was arrested in that case. Police say that none of the 3 shootings are connected. Okay, we've been talking about this, what feels like for months now. Election Day is officially tomorrow, and more than 143,000 people participated in early voting.
And of course, the 2 biggest items on the ballot are Proposition A and Proposition B.
Now, Prop A would fund a makeover of county facilities around the Frostbank Center and pave the way for year-round rodeo-style events, while Prop B would help pay for a new Spurs arena downtown. Now, a few of the voters approve Prop A. The head of the rodeo says that they're going to have some better facilities. They say that while they may not attract some of the higher-end events, they still plan to hold more year-round events there.
Both get shot down. In that case, none of these plans go ahead. I mean, what's the plan then?
Our plan will remain the same. Again,
Which is year-round?
I can't speak on behalf of the Spurs, right?
Okay, right.
But I would say I think it's pretty safe to say that they're not staying there. They publicly stated that. So we would begin planning on the year-round operations on our end on that lower level without the nicer facilities. They would roll out what their plans are in their due time when they're ready to tell us.
Well, a Spurs spokeswoman declined to comment on the possibility of a split result, beyond saying that they are focused on getting both propositions passed. And if you need an easy way to get to your polling location tomorrow as part of VIA's Ride Via to Vote program, you can catch a bus, Via Link, or Via TransRide, and all of this is for free. All you have to do is just show your Bexar County voter registration card when you get on board any one of those vehicles. The goal is to make sure that everyone has a way to cast their ballots, and you can plan your trip using the Transit or Via Go Mobile Plus app.
So we have more information on the amendment propositions along with our other election coverage, sample ballots, information on when and where you can vote on our website, ksat.com/vote. So polls will open again at 7 a.m. tomorrow and close at 7 p.m. You can watch the results as they come in live on KSAT Plus. Be sure to download that app so you can be a part of history starting tomorrow.
All right, yes, make sure to go vote as we get close to 9:39 and 61 degrees outside.
Right, you're watching GMSA at 9, and over the weekend, the city came together to celebrate Dia de los Muertos at the Pearl. We're going to show you some of the beautiful altars, the art, and the performances honoring loved ones, plus hear from an artist about the meaning behind it all.
9:42, welcome back. Well, this weekend, people across the city came together to celebrate Dia de los Muertos.
So this honors the day that the loved ones who have passed on, and one of the citywide celebrations happened at the Pearl and was filled with ofrendas, art pieces, and performers celebrating life, as well as honoring our lost loved ones. And we did speak with one of the artists behind some of the altars there, who said each piece had a story and a purpose.
Oh, the Virgin's made out of wine bottles, mesquite. Everything's reclaimed, and this is my brother, Joe Quintanilla. This is the boat. We call it the boat. And this floated at Woolon Lake. So I made this one for my little brother, too.
And this is a tradition that reaches far and wide. Dia de los Muertos is widely observed in Mexico, where it largely developed, and is also observed in other places, especially by people of Mexican heritage.
So this is a look here at one of the celebrations that took place in Mexico this year, and it wasn't your average Dia de los Muertos. It was actually a James Bond-inspired Day of the Dead parade. So the parade was inspired by that 2015 Bond film, Spectre, and has since become an annual event in the city. Thousands of people marched alongside giant floats, accompanied by music and very colorful costumes. And this year, more than 8,000 participants paid homage primarily to pre-Hispanic Mexican culture.
Yeah, very, very beautiful right there. Well, people in Ecuador also celebrating. This is a look at the procession of candles, a tradition that symbolizes a bridge between the world of the living and the dead, with the light of candles guiding souls back to their homes. Now, lighting candles is a way to honor and remember the deceased with love, hope, and faith. And in other places across the U.S., the celebrations held strong despite some recent concerns surrounding immigration. This is a look at one celebration in Minnesota. While some organizers worried that fears of deportation would cast a pall on public celebrations, participants turned out in droves in cities big and small, saying the rituals brought a much-needed sense of resilience and community pride. At Colegio High School, the half-dozen altars with flickering candles, very beautiful there, decorated candy skulls and calaveras, and a profusion of paper flowers commemorated local and global losses, including pictures of children killed at a school mass shooting there just a few miles away.
Well, four best friends here from Maryland started a podcast about food, and now they're getting parodied on Saturday Night Live by pop star Sabrina Carpenter. So their following is exploding with celebrity guests and even a shout out from the Baltimore Ravens. ABC's Danny New tells us how it all happened.
What's up, Pern? I'm No Name. I'm McLovin. And I'm Nonchalant Kid. Today we're doing a burger.
For the past year, four best friends from Maryland have been letting their food opinions fly on their podcast, MD Foodie Boys.
Has this first year gone even better than you expected?
For sure. Yeah, a lot better than expected.
But here's one thing these high school freshmen were not anticipating.
I'm going to kick things off with a controversial pick, Twizzlers.
Bro, what? A parody of their podcast on Saturday Night Live featuring pop superstar Sabrina Carpenter.
Me and Emmett were actually having a sleepover. And we woke up the next morning and we just saw like a bunch of text messages about it.
This all went down a few weeks ago.
I've never had a vegetable, low-key.
Never tried any vegetables. Not gonna lie.
And since then, two of the actresses from the sketch have even commented on their Instagram, with Veronica Slowikoska writing, "Love you guys."
Did you think they did a good job?
I thought it was funny, yeah. There were a lot of very close, like,
They were pretty on point. But really, these young food critics have been gaining momentum since their very first post last December,
I don't understand how celery has like 0 calories or like close to 0.
which quickly picked up millions of views.
I don't even know if any of us thought we'd film a second podcast. Yeah. Until we saw how crazy that first one went. If your music was a food, what would it be?
Such a good question. Since then, they've welcomed special guests like Grammy-nominated rapper Lil Yachty. And just recently, they were even welcomed by their hometown Baltimore Ravens. But I know one wish they have for year 2 of the podcast.
Would you like Sabrina Carpenter to come on the pod?
Yes, for sure, yeah.
By the way, one of the foodie boys actually said he had never heard of SNL until he was being depicted on it, which, honestly, is pretty baller. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Did a good job on
Yeah.
SNL.
Do you want Sabrina Carpenter? Yes.
Duh. Of course.
We knew the answer to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did a good job. And of course, even though she's like dressed up, she still looks beautiful, like
Yeah.
behind all that night makeup and the boy
Interesting.
haircut. Yeah.
That's good.
Are you going to check out that podcast?
I might have to now.
Yeah, it looks
absolutely.
interesting.
Popular, very popular. All right, I want to take you guys out to Lost Maples. We've talked about this a little bit, but a lot of people will be traveling out to the Lost Maples area to check out the leaf change. What we're told is there's no color yet, but it's expected to start this week. So we think we're going to start to see some colors as early as this week, and then I think the next couple of weeks you'll start to see some pretty good color out there. So be sure to make your reservation, especially on the weekends. It gets packed out there, and rightfully so. Which brings me to my Just Ask Justin question. What is the most important factor in the color change of leaves? Is it rainfall, length of day, temperature, or sun angle? What do you think, Steph?
RJ, what is it?
I don't want to give away the answer.
It is length of day. We'll go with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is length of day.
That sounds great.
Right. So this is what signals the leaves to start changing color. So when you have these shorter days, that's when they start to change. But temperature, precipitation, and the light intensity can influence the vibrancy of the color. So they play a role in just how bright and how orange and yellow these colors can get. Let's talk about forecast fall foliage. And, you know, it's not something we talk a lot about here because we don't get much of it. And in fact, it shows we have low color. This yellow color means there's not much there. But you get up to the north, Rocky Mountains up across the northern plains, and they're past peak color already. So peak color is actually this red here, which snakes into the panhandle. So this is kind of the progression, right? The further south you go, the longer it takes. Usually for us, it's late November, if we see anything at all. You get into North Texas, and it's late October, which they're right on schedule. So anyway, that's the latest when it comes to fall foliage. We'll keep you updated on Lost Maples. Outside right now, it is 61. 60 in New Braunfels, 61 Converse. A beautiful day. No wind at all. We expect light winds today and tomorrow, and then winds will try to pick up a little bit more as we get later into the week. 68 at 11 o'clock, 73 noontime, 78 at 3 and 4 o'clock. That'll be your high temperature, by the way. Sunny skies all day long. And then once the sun goes down, it's a pretty rapid decrease in temperature. 66 at 8 o'clock, 63 at 9 p.m. Now let's talk about the wind forecast. I mentioned the winds will pick up some as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That ushers in a little bit more moisture. So these are the days we've kind of picked out to maybe see some morning clouds or maybe some morning fog. Then as you get into Saturday, winds pick up even more. We got a good southerly wind before a front comes through. Then we got a very good northerly wind. And I think Sunday has the potential to be a very windy day. I know that's still a ways away, but something to think about is the fact that not only will it be windy, but we'll also have a lot of dry air, so that presents a fire concern. A little early to talk about that yet, but just something to keep in the back of your mind. All right, 80 tomorrow for Election Day, 83 Wednesday, 85 Thursday, 87 Friday. You see some of those warmer numbers there. Fully dependent on what happens with some of those morning clouds and fog, but it does look like it'll be above average through the end of the work week. And then that front will bring about those changes by Sunday. Unfortunately, no rain with the front, just gusty winds and dry air.
Yeah, but people will be a little confused on Saturday afternoon, I think, with the higher temperatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's 88. I thought we were done with those near 90s, but
yeah, I did too.
Not so fast.
All right, thank you, Justin. Well, SA Live, just a few minutes away now, featuring a new interview with actor Ethan Hawke.
All right, cool. I just saw that new movie, Black Phone 2. But first, with chilly temperatures and that fall feeling in the air, it's definitely time to layer up your wardrobe. Fiona Gorstiza takes us to the Ranch Motel for cold weather looks for men, for the guys.
All right, guys, it's time to layer up that winter style. And here to keep you looking
Hey, thanks for having me, Fiona. I'm here to show you some jacket looks. So jackets are kind of my favorite accessory for layering up because you can wear the same jacket and just change everything around it, and it's always going to be a new look. So right here today, what we have Bobby in just a nice, casual, simple zip-up jacket. Nothing crazy about it, but it's nice for the Texas cool evening or the day if it's a little bit cooler. Just got a nice t-shirt, solid color t-shirt with some pants. Black is always a good color to go with. Some sneakers. I mean, he could throw on some loafers if he wanted to, but just a nice, simple navy blue jacket can go a long way.
And I love that. You don't even need a lot of contrast between the pants and the jacket, right?
No, you just keep it all dark. It looks good. And my next look is going to be a little bit more of an aggressive, colder weather look. So I got Tavin with a true layering look right here, right? We got a nice little hoodie with a t-shirt underneath. We're going to layer it with a nice, what we call a barn jacket. Got some pockets here, just kind of thick. Got some inside, like, see the little lining inside of it? Adds a little flair to it.
Those are some pockets.
Those are some pockets. That's why it's called the barn jacket. You never got to put his work gloves in there. I don't know where he's going to go work, but he's got to put his work gloves. You can add in some denim, just some nice colored denim to it with some chukka boots. Just a great fall, winterish transition look. Again, if it's too hot, he can always take the jacket off and just go with the hoodie. With Joey here, we just got a little bit of a fun vibe look for Joey. Joey, I always told him, I was like, I wanted a little bit of a rugged look, but I wanted it to be a clean look. So what we did here, we got a field jacket on Joey. More pockets, right? You never know where you're gonna need these pockets for. A simple t-shirt on underneath just to contrast the navy green, the military green in it. We're gonna go down into some simple chinos, some brown chinos, and he's got on these Blundstone work boots. Very rugged, just good fall, winter look for Texas, or if he's gonna travel up maybe to the East Coast, he's got a great look for there. Throwing with some sunglasses and a hat, he's ready to go.
And we've got your look as well.
Yeah, so mine isn't really a jacket or a coat per se, but I wanted to show you that you could still have a look with a blazer jacket for the fall, winter time. More so for maybe that business office look. So what I simply did is I just took a hoodie, put it underneath the jacket. I got a casual look up top, but if I just throw in some chinos, add in some nice little loafers to it, it kind of dresses it up. So I could wear this to work if I wanted to. If I wanted to wear it out on the weekend, I could just throw on some sneakers and I still got a great evening look, go out on a date or go out to movies.
Okay, and we have to give a huge thank you to the Ranch Motel here on Broadway for this incredible setting, right?
Yeah, like you said, it's kind of like you're in San Antonio, but you're not in San Antonio. Just a great vibe here, 20 plus rooms, pickleball court. Got a bar down here, got a mezcal bar and a lounge over here to the right of me. And also they have a pool. And the even best part is that in the fall, winter time, it's a heated pool. So you can still come out here and hang out, get a pool pass, enjoy some drinks by the pool, stay warm in the water since it's heated.
All right, and of course, gentlemen, thank you so much. Some great winter looks. Tell folks what you do with Bare Essentials.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a styling profile on Instagram. You know, if you need any help with styling for yourself, for a friend, for your husband, whatever you need, you can go on Instagram, just message me and I'll help you out as much as I can. It's just Bare Essentials on Instagram.
All right, and for more information on Stefan Delgado and Bare Essentials, all you have to do is head to our website, SALive.com, and click on the As Seen on SA Live tab.